So the thing I spent 2 hours making, I did what any logical person would do. I just set it on fire. All right, Nate, what are we doing?
Lubing. It didn't freaking budge.
Hell yeah! What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Nathan's in the background. Everybody say hi to Nathan. Anyway, so our plan today, if you can, as you read in the title, is to make engine mounts and a trans mount. So down in here on our subframe, we're going to utilize our original engine mount spots. So I've already pulled the engine out of the car. Last episode you saw I had it laying in there briefly. Off camera, I took the old trans mounts out and finished up the floors and put some undercoating under there finally. It's just one layer for now, but I'll do the rest later. But the car's back on the ground, the engine's out. So the first thing we're going to do is make some plates for the engine mount side as well as the subframe mount side. We're just going to make the plates for them, tack them together, get everything where it needs to be. In between those two plates, we're going to use these, it's basically just DOM tubing with poly bushings in there. That way it's not a solid mount and rattling my car to death. So we're going to utilize those as well. I have one for each side. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and hop on making those plates. Alright, so what I've been using is CAD, which is also known by Taylor Ray as cardboard aided design. So as y'all can see, it fits up real nice and snug. So now what I need to do is come over here to our 3/16 steel. Yes, it's thick enough. So we're going to take this apart and copy it out twice. One for this side, one for the other side. It's a mirror image. So just flip it over and we'll have our mounts and we'll get those tacked together and make sure they fit. Alright, so we have all of our pieces here. They are cut out and they're going to be good to go ahead and tack together. Well, that is horrendous. Alright, so we've got our parts here welded up. They're not the best welds ever, but they're definitely strong and they'll hold, so I'm not too worried about them. The next part is going to be making the mount on the engine block side. So I actually kept the stock mounts just so I could have the bolt holes already aligned. So I'm going to start mocking up what I need to on here and we'll see what we can get put together. Now that we've made our plates for the block side as well as the hubs side and the subframe mount side, got it. We're gonna put the engine in there, get it level, get it exactly where it needs to sit, and then we'll be able to start putting some ideas together. Let's get the engine back in the car. This is probably gonna take a long time to get it all set, so Alright, so after literally 4 hours and multiple cuts and bends and finding a way to get a jack under the car to lift the trans and all these other problems, we have finally got the engine exactly where we want it. Yes, that is a piece of rope pulling the engine ever so slightly that way. As you can see, we are balanced front to back and side to side. Terrible angle. And side to side within spec. So it's finally time to start mocking up the motor mount. All right, so we have got our engine leveled and in line, looks good, and then we have also made our mount jigs, so we can start fabricating those tomorrow after work. And a little interrupter, if you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss anything for the future, and drop a like on this video. It really helps out the channel a lot. Appreciate it. Alright guys, it's a new day. It's been a really long week at work, so we're gonna get cracking back on these. Plan is to take our piece here and put it on our DOM here. I have marked where the flat plate is going to go. I'm literally going to use a flap disc and grind it down till it's flush, and I can mount it up on here. Nathan's here. I'm going to mount it up on here till it's flush, and then we're going to cut the other side, test fit it on here, make sure that everything's good to go, and then we'll remove those tacks and weld her up. Alright guys, it has been a really long night, but we've got our pieces tacked up. Yeah, they're not perfect, but they look pretty good, and they're going to be flush and strong, and whatever other words you want to use to describe whatever the hell this thing is. What I'm going to do now is I'm letting it cool down just a little bit, and then I'm going to go to the bench and take it all together, and then so while this is cooling down, I'm going to go ahead and start on the other side. So after speaking with Mason about it, at least the mount on the intake side is going to change. We're going to run straight up and put the small poly bushing directly above the subframe mount, and we're going to use the DOM straight to the engine side from that poly bushing. So the thing I spent 2 hours making, I did what any logical person would do. I just set it on fire. Because, you know, complete and utter frustration. Not too stoked, I'm not gonna lie. Alright guys, so it is a new day. Still working on the engine mounts. It's come out pretty good so far. I'm actually getting a pretty late start. Not feeling too well, so I'm probably just going to hook up a time lapse and film while I work, because I really need to get this mount done, the other mount done, and trans mount done. And I'm hoping I can do that within today and half of tomorrow. But first I got to run out and get some bolts. And I'll be back working on this. So yeah, there's your little update. Alright ladies and gents, I am back. Feeling a little better than I did yesterday, so this should go a little bit better. I didn't film much because it just didn't feel like it. First one came out really nice, fits up great. super strong. Not gonna have any problems with that. The second one here also turned out nice. But for about an hour yesterday, I worked on this piece here. This piece of DOM that's gonna go to this. It's supposed to just kind of directly go from the middle here to the DOM there on the poly bushing, and I made it way too short, and the angles are all over the place and not good. So, gotta scrap this piece. I did a terrible job of filming yesterday. I'm feeling much better. Nathan's actually helping me out today with capping off the end of this mount. And while he was doing that, I went ahead and bolted up the other mount, and everything fits perfect, luckily. And the engine is straight and level. I'm very, very happy. So Nathan's gonna finish trimming this piece. We're gonna weld it up real quick and throw in the new bushing, and then throw it on the car and have it sit by itself. And then we'll figure out what's next. All right. All right, Nate, what are we doing?
Lubing.
This hole isn't very big for this lube.
That's slow motion lubing.
Now, with the lube, take the shaft and put it in the hole.
How do I go all the way in?
Well, give it a little bit of umph and dumph, you know?
I thought it was just the tip.
It's all about the motion in the ocean.
That's the wrong way.
Are you struggling? You a little out of breath? Freaking push it all the way to the climax, bro. Oh, perfect. Look, only a little bit of residue left over.
So we are currently finishing up here with tightening the last bolt onto the engine mount.
What do you think for the people?
Lube's your friend, all right? Sometimes it's just not all there naturally. And you lube it up, and the bearing just slides right in where it needs to go. That shaft is meant for that hole. Let's make sure that the engine stays exactly where the hell it is right now by itself, or this was a huge waste of time.
Are you dropping it?
I'm dropping it.
Are you dropping it like it's hot? It didn't freaking budge.
Hell yeah! The engine is in the car. It doesn't run.
But
Who cares?
Getting closer.
It's getting closer. Alright guys, it is another new day. Got a couple hours that I need to try to get this trans mount done in. Alright, so we've got the trans mount hooked up to the trans under the car. What I can see is the trans mount through the transmission opening in the transmission tunnel, and now what I'm going to do is mark it up, drill it right through the floor. We got a couple of bolts bolted up, and everything should be in the car. Technically. Send it. Alright guys, so the camera died when I was trying to show what was going on, but basically I have two bolts here, two bolts on the other side, they're catty corner. I am going to put a plate on the top so that it distributes the weight on the top as well, and we're not just bolted straight into the floor. But I just wanted to get everything mocked up, and now the entire drivetrain is actually in the car and bolted up, so I'm really happy about that. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to like, share, subscribe. Sharing with your friends helps out a lot. Subscribing helps out a ton. And I will catch you on the next one.